Hi there, boys and girls. So today we are going to be editing and recrafting. So that means how can I make this better or how can I improve my writing? Okay, we did say last term, remember our favorite authors, they don't just write something once and then leave it. They've recrafted and edited their work a billion times before it even gets to the publishing part. So just remember that when you're publishing your work, that everyone's gone through this process before. Now, how exciting, we can tick something off. So yesterday we have finished writing all of your paragraphs and you have all done such a fabulous job. You should be very proud of yourselves. Today is Tuesday and we are going to edit and recraft our writing as we said before. And tomorrow we're publishing, and if you finish publishing, you don't have to do anything on Thursday, which is fantastic. Now, please, before we start, please check this first. 1, have you got at least 3 sentences for each paragraph? So I've been looking at your work today, so today being Monday, because I usually record this the day before you do your work. So I've been looking at your work, and some of you have done an absolutely outstanding, actually most of you have done an absolutely outstanding job, but some of you have shown that you're only writing 1 or 2 sentences per subheading. Now, we did do, with our planning, we've done 3 facts. So remember, we wrote 3 facts for each subheading. So maybe go back to your notes and see if you can add more in, or you can go and research a little bit more about your animal. In Monday's videos, so yesterday's video, the first one, it also shows you how to do that. So if you need any help with that, look at the first video from Monday. Also, make sure that you have all of the structure of your information report perfect. So you need your title, your classification, or sizzling start. Okay, and then you have 3 separate paragraphs under that with subheadings, which you chose, and then a conclusion or an ending with impact. Now that means that you should have 5 different paragraphs all together in your information report. Okay. And the last thing I want you to check, have you got 3 facts per paragraph? So that brings me to my point up here. Okay. So please check that first. If you need to go check that, pause this video and go and do that now. All right, let's get into editing and recrafting. Now, I've put the information report assessment rubric. So you might go, what's an assessment rubric? Well, it's a thing that tells us how you're going in your year group. Okay, so we'll look at your information report and we're going to be marking you on these things. So we'll work out whether you're working towards that, if you're working at that year 4 level, or if you're working above the year 4 level. Okay, so we're looking at these things. So if you want a really high mark, look in these boxes here for what you need to get a really high mark. Okay, if you're looking to improve, see where you might be sitting in these boxes here. So I've attached this assessment rubric as a Word document as well, just so you can have a little bit of a look at it, and maybe you might want to print it out. So we'll be looking at your structure, your paragraphing, your punctuation. We'll be looking at your sizzling starts and classifications and your ending with impact. We'll be looking at your sources. So if you've put down your websites and whether they are credible or reliable sources. And we'll also be looking at your publishing and how well you've been publishing. Okay, so let's get started on how we can edit. So what does edit mean? It means to correct. It could mean to adapt. Could mean to check. Okay, could mean to revise, to polish, like that word polish. Okay, so that's what editing is. We're looking for certain things in our writing, like our punctuation and our spelling, and see if we can correct it. So what is recrafting? So it means to transfigure, to change, to remodel, to reshape, to ripen. I love this word ripen because it reminds me of how a piece of fruit can ripen. It gets better and better as it gets older and older, and it develops which brings me to my next word, it develops. So when we're recrafting, we're looking at how we can make it better. How can we use better words? How can we make it more interesting for our reader? Can we use sizzling starts or ending with impact? So those sorts of things. So most of you have written your information reports on a piece of paper in your workbook. You're going to need 2 colors today. You're going to need a green color for editing and a purple color for recrafting. Now, we did this before last term, so you have had some experience on this. When you are editing your work, I want you to be looking for your punctuation. Have you got full stops in the right spot? Have you got capital letters in the right spot? Does your sentences make sense? Really look for that. And your spelling. Okay, so looking at spelling. If a word doesn't look quite right, see if you can look it up and get the correct spelling for that. And then recrafting. So you're going to use a purple pencil or a purple pen to see if there's any not so interesting. There might be some boring words in there that you might be able to spice up. So you could use a thesaurus for that to see if those words make your writing even more spectacular. But make sure you're using a word that you would use, okay? Because remember, we are writing in our own words. And then checking that your sentences also make sense. So you might have a sentence that's too long that you need to break up in by putting a full stop somewhere in there. You might also need to explain yourself a little bit more. So remember, we said that yesterday, looking at how you can tell us how or why something happened. So writing an extra sentence or 2 can also help with that, especially if you only got 1 or 2 sentences in your paragraph. Now, this is just a little checklist for you to help you today. So while you are marking your work, if you're looking at punctuation, here are 3 things that you need to look at. If you're looking at spelling, just need to look at if they're spelt correctly. If you're looking at words, can you swap for better words? And what could you do if you are looking at your sentences? So as you are marking your work or editing and recrafting your work, just check you've done all of these things before you hand it in. So the last thing I want you to do is take a photo of your edited work, okay, and attach it here, or post the picture here, or you can attach it to your assignment. So that's it for today. That's what we're going to be doing. If you've got any questions, please post them on the comment section and I will help you as best I can. If you need further information about how you can go and look or how you can extend your paragraphs, go to my first video from yesterday. So that would be this one here, okay? Also, some of you have forgotten to put in sizzling starts, or actually most of you have sizzling starts. You've done really well with that. There's some people that have forgotten to put in conclusions. So that might mean that you forgot to look after you've done your paragraph section. You forgot to go to the sizzling start section or the ending with impact section. So if you haven't seen these slides before, maybe just go back and have a look, especially at that endings with impact. And I've got a video there to show you how it's done. And there's also an example here as well. Okay, I'll leave it there. I'll stop talking. Go and enjoy doing your work. Second last day of doing your information reports.